Sometime in mid-March, every single person anywhere in the world who had booked a short-term rental canceled, and Airbnb let them. So all of a sudden, we all have an empty slate. There's no one staying in any of our places. To tell me if that was not your experience, but also from mid-March through mid-June, up until a couple of weeks ago, how did that go for you? Did you, where were you able to get your occupancy rates? What did you do to adapt to the changes in the market?
Yeah, so mid-March and April both, we lucked out in the sense that in March we had some insurance sales guys in our place for a whole month, so they still stayed there. So March we cash flowed $1,300 on the top unit. In April, we had some insurance adjusters in town after a storm came through, and we didn't make as much, but so I cash flowed $620 on the top unit. And then in April is when we started renting out our bottom unit as well, which is furnished. It's a 6-month rental for a baseball player and his wife who are in town. And so, and luckily baseball's happening, so they're staying. But so on that bottom unit for the month of April, we did $970. So $1,600 between the two. And then May was my worst month by far. On the top unit, I made -$10. We had someone throw a party in May, and because of that party, and they were just the worst kind of people, they were super loud, partying till 5 in the morning. It almost made the people staying on the bottom unit paying a lot of money to be there to move out. And so I was scared to death that we were going to lose our like medium-term rental. Yeah, May was a bad month for me. June has been good. I think we cash flowed around $2,000 between the bottom unit and top unit. Nice. Yeah, so did I answer the question? Is there anything else?
Just a quick summary of what I'm hearing, Cody. Your decline was slower than most and bottomed out in May, but it sounds like in June you're effectively recovered. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I mean, it's mostly this medium-term rental is huge for me right now, you know, in terms of consistency. So, yeah.
One thing that we did not end up going to any of the other longer-term websites like Furnished Finder or any websites that target people who are going to stay for a month or longer. One thing we did on Airbnb, though, was adapt the marketing of our units to demonstrate how socially distant they are. Each of my Airbnbs has its own front door. So from the moment you step foot on the property, you don't have to touch anything that anybody else is touching. So I think the term social distance is currently in the title of each of my Airbnbs. That's just a small touch, but hopefully that's one of the reasons we were able to get our occupancy back up. Chris, what about you? What have the past 3 months felt like?
Man, what an experience it's been. I'm sure everyone can relate. So I guess for the people who don't have Airbnbs who are attending, right, there's this sort of like dopamine rush you get every time you get a booking, right? And particularly, you know, I don't necessarily always have my notifications on because we have so many of them and I have other people who help me manage them. But, you know, particularly when you have 20, 30 of them, you're just always sort of getting hit with a little bit of like, you know, a little pep right in your step. It was the exact opposite, if not much worse in March. So I think it was like the 13th or 14th of March was like D-Day, where just cancellation upon cancellation upon cancellation. And I spent like one whole day just in bed because I was like, I don't know what to do. No, I just wanted to wait and pan out and see where everything was going to bottom out. It became very clear pretty quickly, looking at what happened in, various Asian markets and things, that we weren't going to see a quick recovery, and this was going to be a pretty significant thing. So one of the first things we actually did was a bit of a reaction in the sense that we started seeing a really big increase in the number of locals who were trying to book our units to throw parties. And so we immediately stopped accepting any booking from locals that was less than 14 days long. And then for any booking that was longer than 14 days long, we had a really big concern that there might be people who were being evicted from their homes who would try to squat. So we implemented a lot of processes where we started doing court searches and super intense background checks of a lot of, anyone who was a local who wanted to book, basically. That was one of the big things that happened. We switched to basically a 30 to 60 day sort of minimum on a lot of our stuff. And we were pretty successful getting travel nurses. And then we also made 4 of our units available basically on a charitable basis for anybody who was going to like children's hospital and was uncomfortable with the coronavirus situation. Basically, we would charge like $10 a day, $300 a month, right? Pretty much just paying our utilities, just because we knew we weren't going to fill them anyway. So yeah, March and April were not pleasant. We, to put it lightly, we were sort of hemorrhaging cash. But then we started to see a rebound in May, right? We broke even in May, felt good about that. And then June was okay. It wasn't what a June should be. But we made a little bit of money, so that's nice. And then July looks like we'll probably come in, just based on sort of the pacing so far, we'll probably come in at 65 or 75% of what we would typically expect a July to be. We'll see what happens as far as the same day bookings and near term bookings go. I think one of the interesting patterns that we're seeing right now is that there are a lot more, proportionally speaking, people who are like within, let's say, 3 hours who are booking now. So a lot of people who maybe might have gone to like Hilton Head, South Carolina, or they might have gone to Miami or whatever. Right now they're choosing to go to Cincinnati or Columbus or whatever's nearby. So that's kind of interesting. So we're trying to figure out what to do with that. Yeah, I think, and then the other big decision we made was we transitioned more than half of our units to long-term 12-month leases as well. So that was a choice we made in late March, early April.
Are those furnished long-term rentals or unfurnished?
We tried to do furnished and thought like, hey, maybe we can get a little more margin or something by doing furnished, but turned out people don't really want furnished 12-month rentals. They have their furniture, they like their furniture, and they want to keep their furniture. So we now have a line item in our budget for self-storage that didn't exist before. So there's that. In case anyone needs the research on self-storage places, I've got the list of the best ones now. So
hey, start a staging company, right? You've got everything you need.
Okay, so actually it was nice because, yeah, we did get really good at staging our long-term rentals. So we got better rents on those than we might have gotten if we hadn't staged. So that was nice.